Well, baseball fans here in Milwaukee are usually out grilling. It's a big picnic in the parking lot hours before the first pitch, and we're getting set for Cubs baseball here on Comcast Sportsnet. First of a 4-game weekend series between the Chicago Cubs and Milwaukee Brewers. Great to have you with us alongside Jim DeShays. I'm Len Casper. Gorgeous night here in Milwaukee. Roof open. Cubs need to get on a roll here against a team that is struggling in the Brewers. Dexter Fowler has been probably the Cubs' best offensive player here in the second half.
Yeah, he's really made a very nice turnaround. Really struggling a couple of weeks ago, and that was a pretty prolonged slump that he endured. But Dexter Fowler has really been swinging it well. He's hitting for power. He's taking his walks. He's stealing bases. Feeling a little bit of a bad back, but it has not slowed him. The last couple of weeks, he's posted some very impressive numbers, including a .378 batting average, a .533 on base percentage, and I mentioned the walks, 15 of those, 4 stolen bases for Fowler.
And Joe Madden keeping Kyle Schwarber in the lineup. He's playing left. Chris Bryant gets the night off. It'll be Chris Coghlan playing third. And let's get into the pitching matchup. Couple of right-handers who've been in a good stretch.
Yeah, Jake Arrieta had a quality start last time out, lost that ball game, but he's been much more than quality for a good long while now. He's been dominant. Last 7 starts, 5-1 with a 137 ERA. Jimmy Nelson, a guy we saw a couple of times early in the year, back-to-back starts back in May. As a matter of fact, a career-high 11 strikeouts against the Cubs in one of those ball games, and you see his good work of late as well. 5-1 with a .254 over his last 6 starts.
A lot of this season series still yet to be played here in the second half. The Cubs just 2-4 against the Brewers. We'll have a studio update and then baseball from Miller Park coming up.
Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to Chicago area and Northwest Indiana Lexus dealer, who invites you to test drive a Lexus today. Blue Cross and Blue Shield of Illinois, through it all. AT&T Uverse. Find out what's possible with AT&T. Call 1-800-PIG-ATT, mobilizing your world. Ford. Check out America's freshest lineup at your local Ford store or at localfordstores.com. And by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com.
Gorgeous night here in Milwaukee as the Cubs and the Brewers will play Game 7 of their season series. 19 games in all, so still 13 to go, including 4 this weekend. And the Brewers just announced to trade Carlos Gomez, who had his trade to the Mets nixed yesterday, is now a Houston Astro along with right-hander Mike Fiers. And don't know a lot of these names, JD, but just reading Twitter, it looks like the Brewers got a pretty good haul in terms of the Astros farm system.
Yeah, some highly regarded prospects in that mix. I'm Santana, familiar with him. They got him from the Phillies in a trade a couple of years back. Pretty good-looking player, outfielder. Yeah, well, you know, they tried to make the move with Gomez last night. The Mets didn't like the medicals on Gomez. Apparently the Astros thought he would be just fine, and they've added a very dynamic player to their lineup.
And the Astros tried to get draft slot number 73, but had to settle for 76. I'm kidding, of course. All right, let's get the Cubs Southwest starting lineup. Dexter Fowler, the hottest hitter on the planet, it seems. He's been getting on base a ton. Will lead it off. Schwarber in left for the second straight day. Chris Conklin actually was originally a third baseman in the Marlins chain. He's going to play there tonight. Rizzo homered yesterday. Soler had the day off, so he's back in there along with Starlin Castro. David Ross will catch for Jake Arrieta. And young Addison Russell will play second, and he'll hit ninth.
Defensively, the Brewers set up this way. They've made 79 errors. That's the most in the National League this year. Davis, a late addition to the lineup with the Gomez trade. He's in left. Parra slides over to center. He's a Gold Glove outfielder. Ryan Braun is in right. Perez now getting regular time at third with the Ramos Ramirez traded away. Segura and Jeanette in the middle. Adam Lind has had a very nice year. He's the first baseman. Jonathan Lucroy behind the plate. And Alexis pursuing perfection starting pitcher for Milwaukee is big right-hander Jimmy Nelson. First full year in the big leagues. A cup of coffee a couple of years ago, a little more time last year, and looks like he's going to be a good one. 8-9 so far this year with a 3.97 ERA.
Yeah, he's a big dude too. 6'6", 245. And as a reminder, if tonight's Cubs leadoff man gets a hit, Vinny's Beverage Depot will donate $100 to Make-A-Wish, Illinois.
Power arm, power sinker for Nelson. Gets a lot of ground balls with a fastball that can max out around 96 miles an hour. You'll see a lot right there, 93, 94, down around the knees when he's good. Curveball, slider, and a change.
Lucroy sets up toward the outside, and apparently it was outside, maybe a little low. Get the umpires, David Rackley, calling those balls as strikes. Crew chief is Hunter Wendelstedt. Marvin Hudson, Pat Hoberg, second and third respectively. Missed again. Comfortable night. Temperatures in the low to mid 80s. Blue skies above. Lights are on. Roof open. Panels out in left center and right center are open as well. Not too much wind. When guys get locked in like Fowler. They tend to be in a lot of 2-0, 3-1 counts.
Patient, not chasing, forcing the pitcher into the zone.
And now full 3-2 with Kyle Schwarber on deck.
Yeah, he got an aggressive fastball over the heart of the plate there from Nelson, just behind it at 95 miles an hour. And there's a souvenir for those young guys. Arm wrestle for it. It's the Mandelbaum brothers at the ballpark here tonight.
Another foul. Cubs start the night 2.5 back of the Giants. The second wild card spot. And 1 ahead of the Mets for third. Boy, really tough loss for the Mets today. They had a huge lead against the Padres. Could not hold it in an 8-7 defeat. Good slider to get Dexter Fowler, and that's the first out. Now Schwarber playing left, making his Miller Park debut. Is that a curve, not a slider? Throws a slider a little harder.
That was, I think that was a curveball. That curveball action, he did throw it hard.
Fastball 95 on the outside corner. You see Parra around a little bit to left out there in center. And a pull shift on the infield. A little high that time. Giants are off. They will be in Texas tomorrow night. Swing and a miss. Meantime, the Brewers have had a very tough year. They got off to a horrible start. Ron Renicky, their manager, was fired on May 3rd after a 7-18 beginning to the year. It's Craig Counsell. They've gone 37-40 under him. They've gotten a little better each month, including a 13-10 July. But they've spent all but 4 days in last place. Could not get the high heat. Back-to-back Ks for Nelson.
So Nelson gets you a couple different ways. We talked about the sinker, but he certainly has enough arm to throw it by you. And some numbers on Craig Counsell. You know, they started so poorly, you knew they had to turn it around. So how much of that turnaround Craig deserves the credit for, I don't know, but he's a really good baseball guy, long playing career. And when he got hired, folks around here told us he could have pretty much had any job he wanted inside this organization. They hold him in such high regard.
Now Chris Coughlin in for Chris Bryant. And at the knees.
Except for radio play-by-play man, because that's Yuke's gig. They're not going to.
Yeah, they've got a guy who's been doing it for a while, probably before Craig Counsell was born. Ninth big league start at third base for Coughlin, but that was his original position in the minor leagues with the Marlins. Just a bit outside.
Matter of fact, Yuke said that because Counsell's dad worked here for the Brewers, and that's what Yuke was saying earlier tonight. He said, I've known Counsell since before he was born.
It was good to see Yuke. It's that front row seat up in section 422 behind the pole. Nelson with a 2-1. Line shot, deep center. Parra is there, and it's a 1-2-3 opening frame for Nelson. Brewers bats coming up against Jake Arrieta. 7-game road trip. They've been shut out 3 times over their last 5. And no Cargo. Carlos Gomez just traded to Houston. So their Southwest lineup looks like this. Parra and Lucroy have been hot as of late. Gerardo Parra in particular putting together a fine season. Ryan Braun, Adam Lind, Chris Davis will play left. Scooter Gennett spent some time in the minor leagues this season. He's back. Gene Segura's at short. Hernan Perez is at third. Aramis Ramirez recently dealt with the Pirates. And the pitcher Nelson bats ninth.
Cubs defensively, second start in a row for Kyle Schwarber out there in left. Fowler's in center. Soler after the day off back out in right. Chris Coughlin has played 3 innings at third base this year, a handful of games at that position a couple of years back, and he came up as a third baseman in the Marlins chain. Castro Russell in the middle. Rizzo's at first. Ross is behind the plate. And Big Jake is on the bump. Arrieta 11-6 with a 2.61 ERA, making his 21st start. And he is having a brilliant season. League hitting just .214 against him. On the road, he is 7-1 with a 2.14 earned run average. And it gets even better than that.
It gets better than his Sox?
It gets better than his Sox. In his last 4 road starts, he has pitched to a 0.58 earned run average. Nothing gets better than his Sox.
Well, trying to follow up one of the better starts we've seen this year from John Lester. 14 punch-outs in the 3-2 win over the Rockies yesterday. 2 strikes on Parra, another guy whose name has come up on the rumor mill. 13-game hitting streak, batting .457. But we'll go back further than that. His last 83 games, he's hitting .350. Plays Gold Glove defense.
I always thought he was one of the more underrated players in the National League. He's having a big year. .432 in July. That's the best batting average in the NL in July. Yeah, it's pretty impressive stuff. Hitting for some power too. Nine home runs this year, 1 shy of his career best.
It's interesting, isn't it? The Cubs have played a bunch of teams here lately that are either under 500 or just completely out of the race. A lot of talented guys. I mean, the Reds.
Well, you know, a lot of
the
it
Rockies,
depends on what
Brewers.
in the pitching matchup. I mean, the Brewers offensively have been a better club than the Cubs this year. Their pitching, starting pitching in particular, has really struggled. At the veteran guys, you know, Garza's been a tough go. Kyle Loesch having a miserable year. You know, so if you run into this kid Nelson, Youngman, who we're going to see, we have not yet seen him, but he's really throwing the ball well.
One-two pitch, hit in the air to deep left. At Schwarber, who had a pretty quiet day yesterday, only had 1 chance out there, and he gets into the groove early tonight. Bring up Jonathan Lucroy. He's 38 games in the first half with a broken toe. Batting .400 his last 8 games.
In the medical report in the Brewers notes, it refers to it as his great toe.
That would be the big toe.
Great toe. Yeah, I always thought it was the big toe, but apparently, technically, it's the great toe.
I might nominate another toe on one of my feet as the great one.
I know. It's kind of random. Just because it's the biggest doesn't make it the best.
.1-0 on the way. It's a strike. 1-1. Arrieta making his second start this year against the Brewers, his 7th career outing. 2-3 lifetime with a 3.22. Struggled against them in his first start at Wrigley this season. As a lob toss to Rizzo, and Lucroy's out.
Pedestrian outing by Arrieta standards last time, but still a quality start. 5-0 loss to the Phillies. Went 6 innings, allowed 6 hits, 3 runs, all coming home on a Ryan Howard 3-run homer.
Braun recently dealing with some back issues. Injury replacement on the National League All-Star team. He subbed for Matt Holliday, 6th time he's been an All-Star. He hit a triple. 2nd time he has tripled in the All-Star game. Up and in.
Guess it didn't much matter what Jake did last time out, since Cole Hamels threw a no-hitter.
Yeah, it's hard to win when the other guy gives up nothing. Cole Hamels, who's now a Texas Ranger. First pitcher in Major League history to throw a no-hitter, and then before his next start in that season, traded. Three and one.
I think it happened to Bert. Was it Bert Blyleven? Threw a no-hitter his final start of the year for the club, and then was traded in the offseason.
One slider.
Ooh,
like it could have been called strike.
Yeah,
well, he swung at it.
Could have been swinging.
Yeah, there are a lot of ways to call that one a strike, and Hunter Wendelstedt got him on the swing. That would have been a pretty big upset, wouldn't it? He swung at it. It looked like it landed in the box, and it almost was ball 4. There is ball 4.
Braun took that breaking pitch like he was anticipating it.
Now Adam Lind, 1 out of 15 his last 5 games. He missed a couple of days with some back stiffness, but in the overall putting together a fine campaign after being acquired from the Blue Jays over the winter. First base had been a real problem spot for the Brewers really since they traded Prince Fielder, or I guess let him go via free agency, right?
Yeah,
with the Tigers.
A lot of different people passed through, and last year they used 7 different guys at first base.
There goes Braun. Here's the throw by Ross. Out. David Ross gets Ryan Braun, and that'll end the first inning. 2-out walk, no damage. We're scoreless after 1. Second inning, Jimmy Nelson against Anthony Rizzo. Cubs went down 1-2-3 in the first. That will not happen here in the second. Davis will cut it off, but Rizzo's got a double. Good sign. He homered yesterday and a double in his first at bat tonight.
Pretty true to form here. Jimmy Nelson has really shut down right-handed hitters, but lefties have done a lot of damage against him. Yesterday, Anthony Rizzo took a fastball in on his hands and pulled it right down the right field line off the fair pole for a 2-run shot. And he gets this evening started by shooting one in the gap in left center, leadoff double. Yeah, the numbers pretty stark here. 212 the batting average against Nelson for right-handed hitters, 302 for left-handed hitters.
Jorge Soler coming off a day off. That one gets by Lucroy. And Rizzo will take third.
Cross up, I believe. Lucroy out to talk with his young right-hander. And I think Lucroy maybe had a shot at Anthony there, but assumed he did not. This ball comes back to him fairly quickly, and Anthony doesn't get the best break. Let's see Lucroy here at the end of this play with his head down, just assuming he's got no shot at Rizzo.
Soler takes a strike. I would assume a passed ball. I've not heard the scoring. No, wild pitch. Okay. Infield back. Lind, however, even with a bag at first, inside. Lind actually looking into his dugout, kind of shrugging, saying, you want me in or back? Yeah, well, I'll stay here.
Whatever. Whatevs. I'm good. It's like he's not going to hit it my way anyway.
Rizzo's got a hold. Goes 1-3. One away, and it'll bring up Starlin Castro.
Frustrating for a hitter. You got a man on third base, nobody out. The infield's back. Hit a ground ball just about anywhere. You're going to score that run, but not back to the mound. With one out and moving down towards the bottom of the order, Craig Counsell will pull the infield in.
Starlin did not play yesterday. Only the third time he has not participated. Back in there tonight and hitting sixth. Infield and the pitch. A jam shot liner the other way. Lands a couple of feet foul. Nothing in two. Nelson went to the University of Alabama, born in Klamath Falls, Oregon. Went to high school in Niceville, Florida. Good people.
They're down the road from Pleasantville.
Chased a bad one. Got down 0-2 and then really expanded the zone. 2 outs.
A couple games ago, Starlin in a similar situation punched out. It was a high fastball, I believe, that got him that time. This time the breaking ball from Nelson. And he's got nasty stuff. I think in situations like that, you have to be willing to concede earlier in the count. Just try to put the ball in play.
Bounce to third. Perez will get Ross. And Jimmy Nelson with a little fist pump as he gets out of a runner at third, no outs, jam. Make sure to follow us on Twitter as well at CSN Cubs. I see a lot of Cub fans in the ballpark tonight. You ever tailgated here, by the way?
I have never tailgated here.
It is a Milwaukee tradition. Even in the colder months.
Yeah.
You see people out here in early April. It's 35 degrees.
Major
clock game. They'll be out here at 3.
With the location of the ballpark, right? They had to make sure there was room to tailgate around the ballpark. And making their plans to build a new one.
Lynn was at the dish when Braun was thrown out, trying to steal second, and ended the first inning.
Just the second time this year Braun has been caught. He was 15 out of 16 before David Ross gunned him down.
Yeah, there's got to be something going on with the Sox. I don't know if it's in honor of somebody, but we'll try to find out the answer after the game tonight. Lynn broke his bat as he bounces back to Arrieta. Time now for you to tweet your strongest fan photo. Use hashtag NorthsideDataStrongFan, and you just might see yourself later on in the game. Brought to you by T-Mobile. And what Jake is wearing, in case you were wondering, those are not stirrups. Those are socks with the stripes painted on.
Yeah, two and ones, I think they used to call them. Okay. They probably still do. I see guys wear those very often. They were kind of cheating back in the day when you didn't want to wear stirrups.
Yeah, but the thing is, at the bottom, you can kind of see where the paint kind of ends. Kind of hard to see.
And maybe that's why he's got
there you go.
I think he might be wanting to just showcase those sporty kicks he's wearing.
Could be. Maybe they ran out of blue. This end of the line. Not going to go all the way down past the ankle. Chris Davis got in the lineup late after Gomez was traded.
Gomez goes to Houston and does a lot of damage. Met fans are not going to be happy.
Yeah, Mets are taking some heat today, and all kinds of reports in terms of how and why the Gomez deal did not get made. That would have sent Zach Wheeler as part of that deal, coming back from Tommy John surgery from New York to the Brewers. But in the end, I guess questions about his hip. Although Scott Boras, Carlos Gomez, Doug Melvin, they all say not an issue. Outside, 3-2. Yeah, also on Twitter, getting the Little League socks. Good call. Yep. I didn't have any, but now maybe I did. I think I wore those in high school. Those 2-for-1s or 2-and-1s. Ball 4. Second walk issued by Arrieta. That'll bring up second baseman Scooter Gennett.
Yeah. When I was in Little League, we didn't have those. We just had the stirrups. 2 pair of sanitary socks and the stirrups. It's the evolution of the baseball sock. It's pretty interesting. I remember then there was a time where guys would they would cut the bottom out of the stirrups, replace it with a piece of elastic so you could pull them way up.
Ball 1 to Gennett. Rough start. Spent some time back in the minors in the first half. Had a DL stint early with a left hand laceration. It took 5 stitches over a shower mishap. In the visitors clubhouse, PNC Park, cut his hand on the shower rack. Throw over. Davis dives back in safely.
We saw Braun trying to steal it. Maybe that Craig Counsell's trying to push the envelope here a little bit tonight, knowing that Arrieta is awfully tough to hit.
Base hit right field. First hit for the Brewers. Davis will hold at second.
And that's what happens when you fall behind in the count. The guy can sit fastball. Otherwise, he probably doesn't get to that pitch. Nonetheless, an impressive swing of the bat by Scooter Gennett.
Shortstop Gene Segura.
Brewers, one of those teams that were identified very early in this process as being a potential seller. They were so far out of it early on. And that wasn't the case with many teams with the second wild card. So many teams are in the mix, or at least close to it.
Russell to Rizzo, close. They got him.
They may look at that one. Segura flying down the line. Made that awfully close. Counsell starting to work his way to the top of the dugout while the Brewers review it. Out. Anyway, so that the trade deadline, a month ago, people were talking about are they going to trade Parr? Are they going to trade Segura? I don't remember hearing Gomez's name mentioned that much early on. I mean, he's got a pretty club-friendly contract to make $9 million next year.
And on Perez with 2 outs, and they're going to intentionally walk him with the light-hitting Jimmy Nelson on deck. We apologize. We are having some technical difficulties with our transmissions, and we are working on it. Rest assured, we are doing our best to remedy the situation. So with Gomez and Fiers going to Houston, the Brewers are going to recall outfielder Logan Schaefer and utility man Elian Herrera for tomorrow night's game. The Brewers actually were going to go to a temporary 6-man rotation as Willie Peralta rejoined the group from the DL on Tuesday, but now with Fiers getting traded, I would assume they'll just go back to 5.
Yeah.
Our AT&T Uverse multi-view, bases loaded. And it is Nelson, who's 4 for 39 with a double and 2 RBIs. 113 in his career. But as a minor league hitter, he went 0 for 59. Never had a hit in the minor leagues.
He was saving them for the big leagues. The big dude, 6'6", 240 and change.
Chris Russin, the former Cub, just hit a home run for the Rockies. They are in St. Louis and they're tied at 4. It was a 2-run homer. How about that? Driven to deep center. Fowler back on it, and he's got it. Bases loaded. Jimmy Nelson just about cleared him, but Fowler able to make a running grab. Remember that one.
hit deep to center field. Look at Gomez run, and oh my goodness! Carlos Gomez with the catch of the year.
So our Xfinity high-speed action, and while this whole package, as we call it in the business, is all about Carlos Gomez, who just got traded to Houston, all I can think about is, why are they getting rid of Towles Hill?
Yeah, you're going to miss that. It was a heck of a play, and that Hill did not come into play very often each year, but every now and then it did. When it did, it was really fun. Yeah, I liked it. Disappointed to see it go.
Well, and I think a lot of Brewer fans here in Milwaukee are disappointed to see Carlos Gomez go. He really flourished here and became one of the better all-around players in the game, offensively and defensively.
Yeah, and that's a good reason. You know, Gomez is an interesting guy because it took him a while to figure it out. It's a cautionary tale when you're tempted to give up on young players who don't produce right away at the big league level.
Well, Arrieta gave up that long fly ball to Nelson, so now he'll get a chance. No score, third inning. Cubs had the best opportunity. Runner at third, no outs in the second, and could not get Rizzo to the plate. Got him on strikes. 4 for Nelson.
Looks like he's going to be a tough solve here tonight for the Cub hitters. Good stuff, good command, and tell he's got that good mound presence. Feeling good about his game here tonight.
Addison Russell back at second base after manning the shortstop position yesterday. 300 batting average over his last dozen games.
So just to point out, we talked about Russell being 21 years of age, and what's Soler, 23, and Bryant, 23. These kids are all young, and obviously going through some ups and downs, not putting up the kind of numbers they want to, or perhaps fans expected.
That's the third baseman Perez, but Segura's got a nice arm over there. Off balance throw to get him.
He's got a real big arm. So I pulled up Carlos Gomez's numbers here just to compare. He broke in at the age of 21 with the Mets. Played 58 games his first year, batted .232. Then he was shipped off to Minnesota. Played his age 22 and 23 seasons with the Twins. Those 2 years combined, he hit .248 with a .293 on base. First year in Milwaukee, hit .247. It really wasn't until his 26th season that he started to pick it up, and then the next 2 years he was an all-star.
Yeah,
it's just, and that's, I'm not saying you're going to have to wait 4 years for these guys to put up really good numbers, but sometimes it takes guys a little bit longer than you would like.
There are examples, I'm sure, of guys who had similar numbers to Gomez, 21 to 25, who then ended up back at AAA and never got another opportunity. Just depends, right? The skill set and somebody willing to take a chance on you and let you play.
Just as a general rule, if you get to the big leagues when you're 21, odds are you're going to turn out to be a really good player.
2-1 to Fowler, misses.
And that's why one of the great mysteries in baseball right now is Starlin Castro.
Yeah, this is his second subpar season out of his last 3, when most guys are getting into the prime of their career. Three and two. Foul. So you look at the overall for Starlin, and he had to give him a nickname. It would be Hit Machine. 937 hits, so that puts him in the top 10 since he made his debut, and most by any shortstop. But to see him batting in the 230s this year is something I didn't think I'd see this late in a season.
All the ups and downs, Starlin's still just 25 years of age, so plenty of time for him to rediscover it.
Ball 4. Another walk taken by Dexter Fowler. That's his 16th walk in his last 14 games.
Turned down 94 like it was nothing. We measure a lot of things in baseball, and with the new technology you can measure more things than ever before. But one thing you don't have to measure when you watch Kyle Schwarber swing is bat speed. You can just see it. It's quicker than most.
Good lead by Fowler, and on cue Nelson throws.
It's helped a lot of young kids get drafted. Scout goes to see a guy with a big arm, guy's throwing 95 miles an hour, and a kid steps up there and turns on one. That'll get your attention.
Popped up foul and out of play.
Well, Nelson, a big right-hander. Typically those guys are fairly easy to run on, and that has been the case this year. 15 steals, 4 caught with Nelson on the mound.
Hit hard on the ground. Jeanette, not in shallow right, will make the play. And that will end the inning. Cubs strand 1. Brandon Hines saying to Kyle Schwarber, just keep doing that. You're going to be fine.
Don't miss your chance to catch a game at Wrigley Field. The Cubs will return to action at Wrigley next Thursday. That's August 6th. It's the beginning of a 7-game homestand featuring the Giants and the Brewers. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Again, we apologize for our technical issues. We are working on them. It is not your TV. Trying to rectify the situation.
So stop playing with the rabbit ears.
Parra, Lucroy, and Braun. Curveball rolled into center past a diving Addison Russell. That gives Parra a 14-game hitting streak.
Addison Russell believes he can make every play. It's so much fun to watch.
It's a new career high for Parra, the 14-gamer.
Troy, a good guy to hit and run with. Makes a lot of contact. But you might not want to force him to swing the bat here in this situation. He's been swinging it well.
Runner goes, and Lucroy fouls. When Lucroy is healthy, very, very valuable guy. Terrific year last year. 301 with an 837 OPS. Played 153 games.
Last year, 2 years ago, he hit all the doubles.
He hit 53 last year.
Record for catchers, right? Seem to recall that being the story.
46 as a catcher, single season major league record. Led the National League in doubles, first primary catcher in modern history to lead his league in doubles.
One of the reasons why Joe Madden with Chris Coughlin at third base tonight, I mean, obviously he was trying to find a way to give Chris Bryant a night off. Looking at the numbers, he didn't see that there was a likelihood that the Brewers would hit a lot of balls on the ground to third base tonight with Arrieta on the mound. Cue the ground ball to third, right?
Parra ran. That ball will get out of play.
Now you got a lefty sinker baller out there on the mound. You probably want to have your everyday third baseman out there. Lefty throws a lot of cutters in.
Well, you wanted to give Bryant a night off, and offensively, right now you're just trying to get as many bats into the lineup as you can. So if you take Bryant out, you like getting Coughlin's bat in there if you possibly can.
Especially with the left-right splits on Nelson.
The other thing for me is just that Joe's not afraid. You know, Coughlin has said, look, I can play second, play first, can play third. And Joe's just stuck him in there on occasion. Got Kyle Schwarber in left tonight again. Saw Chris Bryant play center in April.
Yeah. Saying down there in the clubhouse, if you're scared, get a dog. don't want your guys to play scared, so you don't manage scared. Willing to take some chances.
Parra runs again, and Ross will not make the throw as he could not get a handle on the ball. Full count on Lucroy.
Throughout this at-bat, Parra's been looking for an opportunity to go. And here on 2-2, I think Craig Counsell probably encouraging him to go, thinking, well, if it's a fastball, Lucroy's going to put the ball in play. If it's a breaking pitch, you got a real good chance of stealing the base.
Number 8 for Parra.
Brewers have to be getting a lot of calls on Parra.
Oh, yeah. Drilled to the corner and left, and the Brewers will grab the lead. Parra scores. We talked about Lucroy with all those doubles last year. And he gives Milwaukee a 1-0 lead. That is his 12th double here in 2015.
It's a hanging breaking ball. It's just like a putt that didn't take the break. Belt high for Lucroy. Struggling a little bit with his command here tonight. No strikeouts yet. Fastball command's been a little iffy. Made a couple mistakes with the breaking ball. He just got to battle through it.
Single, steal, double. And now Braun. Braun is nearing a milestone, 248 career home runs. It's 3 behind Robin Yount for the all-time franchise lead. Held it back, 1-1. Mentioned he got into the All-Star game because Matt Holliday had a quad injury. Well, Holliday is back on the DL again with a sprained right quad. The Cardinals went out and got Brandon Moss for Cleveland.
Yeah, Holiday got hurt last night trying to beat out a double play ball. Cardinals shut out in back-to-back games at home by the Reds.
Cincinnati pounding the Pirates 9-1 in the bottom of the 5th. Joey Votto 2 for 2 with a walk and 2 runs. Throw to third. Safe.
That's great base running by Lucroy. We say it all the time. You have to anticipate, be ready for that ball in the dirt. We've seen Arrieta bounce that breaking ball 2 or 3 times already here tonight. See the secondary lead, shuffle, never takes his eyes off the pitch. As soon as it hits the dirt, he's gone. Oh, we're going to take a look because it looked like he came off the base.
Joe is not going to challenge.
He's waiting. He's waiting.
Okay. I think he was directing traffic defensively. 2-2. Infield back. 3-2.
Yeah, no, he just a little out of sync with his delivery here. Yeah, you see what Ross wanted that fastball down and away. Jake left it right over the heart of the plate. Middle of the way, Ryan Braun is really good. Not to say he can't turn on a fastball, but you continue to work him breaking balls and fastballs away. Sooner or later, he's going to make you pay. If you're going to go away, make sure you get it down. Looks like they're going to try a little front door cutter here. I mentioned Jake's good work on the road, and the last 4 road starts, a 0.58 earned run average, 31 innings in those 4 games, allowing just 15 hits, striking out 31, walking 5.
Deflected by Arrieta. Everybody's safe. Lucroy in. Braun with an infield hit. 2-0.
A lot of times the pitcher's better off letting that ball go, letting a middle infielder make a play for him. But with a man on third base, you're thinking, if I can cut it off, I can prevent a run from scoring. But off the top of his glove, and everybody's safe.
Still nobody out.
With the Brewers trading Carlos Gomez, you get the sense that they might be in, let's back up the truck here, and there could be more coming.
Yeah, I was thinking
for the deadline tomorrow.
Same thing. Lind would be on that list. Parra. Don't know. They've been shopping Loesch. I guess everybody's who's making any sort of money is probably potentially available. K-Rod.
Yeah, there's still some question as to whether the Padres are going to deal Kimbrel. Aroldis Chapman's name has been floated around. A lot of rumors connecting the Cubs to Tyson Ross.
Lined to Soler for the out. Maybe the hardest hit ball of the inning is the first out. It's Chris Davis. I'm going to give you a number here, and don't ask me to explain it. Since May 11th, the Cubs are 21-14 against winning teams and 17-18 versus losing clubs. If you can explain it, I'm all for it. But I don't know what the answer is.
Randomness of baseball.
Yeah, that's probably it.
And unless you want to go deeper and look at all the pitching matchups, of course, of all those series. Yeah, people will say, well, they're playing up or down to the competition. I don't buy that at all.
Called strike 3. That is the first strikeout for Arrieta. So that's what, 14 batters in.
Yeah, a guy who's among the league leaders in strikeouts, and he doesn't have his A game here tonight in terms of the action on his breaking ball, the command of the fastball. It's been a battle for him, and when you're in that situation as a pitcher, that's exactly what you do. You continue to battle, and you hope you kind of find your way and turn things around and start locating. Game 1 of an 11-game homestand for the Brewers, their longest homestand of the year. Coming off a 2-5 road trip.
Two runs in, 1-1 count on Jeanette. RBIs in the inning from Lucroy and Braun. Very long third inning for Arrieta. Off the inside, 3-2. So Braun will be on the move here with 2 outs. We'll see if Rizzo plays behind him. Yeah, Joe's telling him. Struck him out looking, and the inning finally over, but the Brewers get the first 2 runs of the night. It's 2-0 after 3. As they will bat here in the 4th inning against right-hander Jimmy Nelson, who has never beaten the Cubs. Still very early on in his major league career. 0-3 with a .450 in 6 career games, including 4 starts against the Cubs. Called strike, bottom of the zone on Chris Coghlan.
A weird go for Nelson early on this year. His first 6 starts were tandem starts, back-to-back against the same opponent. First 2 were against Pittsburgh, then 2 against the Reds, and then 2 against the Cubs.
Yeah, wasn't it good, bad, good, bad,
yeah,
good, bad?
As you might expect, the first start was good, and then the second go-around, the hitters did a better job against him. He pitched pretty well against the Cubs in both of his starts. First one, he allowed 3 runs, 2 earned, and 6 2/3.
Out to deep left center. Davis going after it. He's got it on the warning track. Running catch, Chris Davis.
A while back when the theme was tough luck for Chris Coghlan. That's been the story here tonight. He's hit the ball sharply both times. A line out to center and a deep drive here that Davis runs under. Nelson's second start against the Cubs this year, back on May 8th. He went 7 innings, allowed 5 hits, 4 runs, walked 1, and a career high 11 strikeouts.
0-1 to Rizzo.
The big guy from Niceville can be pretty nasty.
Well said. So Miller Park, according to ESPN's Park Factor, second best offensive park in baseball this season. Been the best home run ballpark. Been above average, tilted toward the hitters in all categories except for triples. So hits, doubles, walks, runs, homers. This has been a really good place to hit. Foul tipped, and it's 2-2.
Brewers starters have an ERA of 4.50, 13th in the 15-team NL.
Pretty big crowd tonight, a little shy of a sellout, but a lot of fannies in the seats. We see a lot of Cubs blue. Shallow center, Parra makes the catch, nearly collided with Segura.
Dogged pursuit there by Segura out into center field. Parra ultimately runs him off.
Ball 1 on Soler. 2 outs, nobody on. Cubs have 1 hit. That was a Rizzo leadoff double in the second. He actually got to third with nobody out, but then Soler bounced out to the pitcher. Castro struck out. Ross grounded to third, and that was that. 2-0.
Be a good time to pull out the driver. See how far you can hit one. Good swing. Fastball count, nobody on base, 2 outs. If ever there were a time to take a big swing, that was it.
Two and two. Castro is on deck. He'll only bat here in the 4th if Soler can get on base. And Perez will make sure he does not. Second, 1, 2, 3 out of the first 4 for Jimmy Nelson. He's got a 2-0 lead in the 4th. And I put together, I think, our best inning of the year.
Yeah, man, we were spot on, man.
You were cracking me up, but we'll try to drop in some highlights of our analysis a little later.
Yeah.
But we do apologize, and thanks Brian Anderson and Bill Schroeder, who hopefully said really nice things about us on the Brewers telecast. And we're back. Thanks for being patient. Segura, Perez, and Nelson against Arrieta, trying to settle in after a long 3rd inning.
Finished it with a couple of strikeouts, his first 2 of the night, and a good start here, finding that outside 3rd of the plate and down. Change up there to Segura. You don't see many change-ups from Arrieta to right-handed hitters. So he's searching.
I think we should make a bootleg DVD of the lost inning. Just have one copy and put it on eBay for charity or something.
Maybe do
a bunch of money for charity.
Some excerpts.
We won't do that because
best of the top of the 4th.
We have no right to retransmit or rebroadcast or bootleg this game without the express written consent of the Chicago Cubs. Nor can you. 1 and 2.
He's going to try to disseminate him with a changeup. So it took Ross a long time to get there because this is atypical for Arrieta. David calling for everything but the changeup.
Swing and a miss. 3 straight strikeouts
For Arrieta, of course, he's happy to get the strikeout, but watch his reaction as he misses badly again. He's shaking his head saying, man, this can't get locked in here.
Perez, a third baseman. He's made starts at second, third, and short with Milwaukee. He's only 24. We got him on waivers from the Brewers in June. He hits that one hard into right. Here's the statistically light hitting Jimmy Nelson. I feel like I had to clarify that.
I hit a pretty good bolt last time. Likely up here to bunt this time.
Bunted foul. So Scott Miller just tweeted, how many conversations do the Dodgers have regarding starting pitchers? Here's a quote from Andrew Friedman. I'm not even positive I can recite the three-way trade we made. You hear about the haul the Dodgers made today?
Alex Wood. And
there you go. Wood, Jim Johnson, Luis Avilan, Bronson Arroyo still coming back from Tommy John, and then they also got Matt Latos and Michael Morris.
See, I knew about Wood and Latos. I didn't realize the other guys were in the deal from Atlanta.
That's a trade.
There's going to be a lot of disappointed Dodgers because there's not enough room on the roster for all these people. They're going to have to flip some guys, or some of their players are going to be sent out, DFA'd or whatever. Angels have acquired about 9 outfielders in the last couple of days.
Perez ran and Nelson fouled and he strikes out.
Thursday, August 6th, the Cubs take on the Giants. First pitch, 7:05. First 10,000 fans at the ballpark receive a Cubs water bottle. Presented by Comcast Sports Net. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Held off by Parra.
Yeah, you just get the sense the Dodgers are in whatever it takes, whatever we need to trade, whatever we need to spend.
Yeah, they could get Koufax and Hershiser out of retirement. Felt it would help them, they'd do it.
Kind of behaving like the George Steinbrenner Yankees. Meanwhile, the Giants keep nipping at their heels, just a half game back. And the Giants have been playing great baseball over the last couple of weeks.
Runner on the move, and the throw is late, knocked down by Castro. Very aggressive on the bases tonight. Second steal for Perez.
Yeah, Jake is not particularly quick to home plate, and again, he doesn't give up a lot of hits. And the way Parra's been swinging the bat, obviously, Craig Counsell wants to see people in scoring position for him.
Yeah. So how you feeling if you're Mike Bolsinger? 5-3 with a 283 and 16 starts. Sounds like he's going to get bumped from their rotation.
Kind of like Tanner Roark with the Nationals. 15-game winner last year. There was no home for him in the rotation at the start of this year. Giants have been quiet so far. I wouldn't be surprised to see them make a move to add some pitching.
Chopper to Rizzo. Arrieta's got a cover, and he'll get there in time, and that will end the inning. On to the fifth. Milwaukee 2 and the Cubs nothing. Follow Patrick Mooney, our Cubs insider, all season long on Comcast Sportsnet. Brought to you by Nationwide agent Jeff Vukovich. Visit Jeff at jeffvuk.com. Nationwide is on your side, so 2-0. The Brewers have the lead. Interesting lineup tonight, Patrick. Joe has talked about giving guys a little bit of a rest. The Cubs 100 games into the season. Tonight it's Chris Bryant getting the night off. We saw Castro and Soler off yesterday.
Yeah, we were joking with Brian today, are you getting traded or something like that? And he kind of left that off. Obviously, that's not part of the equation. I think someone joked, one of the players, like, yeah, for Mike Trout, maybe. But, yeah, we'll see. Chris doesn't really put too much stock into this idea of a rookie wall. I think there are times where he has looked a little fatigued, but they're playing games that matter, and that should give him, a balance down the stretch.
Castro fouls. JD, do you buy into the rookie wall? I buy into the wall.
Yeah, I'm
for everybody.
Yeah, I think it's a long grind, and I think days off are really important, and I think they're undervalued by the industry as a whole. I think players would be better served to get more days off.
Line drive. Bad luck. He hit it right at Davis.
Well, there's been a few of those tonight here for the Cub hitters. Oglin's had a couple.
There's Ross with one out. So Joe talked about social media today right here.
Yeah, it was interesting with the Carlos Gomez, Wilmer Flores debacle. I guess this idea of him out at shortstop, literally in tears,
right,
wiping away the kind of the organization that brought where he grew up. And Joe said, it's awkward. Even though he has a huge Twitter following, he's not necessarily a huge fan of it. He did that more to help kind of promote the Rays, when they needed it. And now these players hear it from everywhere. I mean, a lot of them are on Twitter, and if they're not, their families are, their friends are, their agents certainly are. So, I I guess the medicals or financial issue with the Mets kind of held things up, and obviously Carlos Gomez is headed to the Astros now.
I think the Brewers or somebody on their team tweeted a photo from their plane last night as he was literally shaking hands with everybody. So, great to see you, catch you down the road, and then he ended up staying, and then he's in the lineup tonight, and then he gets traded.
I remember the good old days when you only got buried on talk radio. And now it's everybody with a Twitter account could bury you.
Looks like Ryan Dempster was going to the Braves a couple of years ago, and there was some sort of miscommunication, and that's how the Cubs wound up with Kyle Hendricks, in that deal with the Rangers.
Well, this will be a fun one for the Brewers, and maybe not so fun for the Mets. Who knows? But find out in the end, 5-6 years down the road, if what they got from Houston would end up being better than what they would have gotten from the Mets. Let's hear from Joe Madden on social media.
It's the world we live in right now. There's a lot of things in today's existence that I think make everything better. I can't tell you that social media actually does. You got to live with it. It's where we're at right now. It's like anything else. Hopefully it's going to be modified to the point where maybe people are going to actually get tired of it, and it's not going to have the same pertinency that it appears to have right now. It's unfortunate, especially for the players involved. It really is.
Strike on Jake Arrieta.
I think it would have been great if Joe would have said hashtag, in my opinion. Hashtag according to Joe.
Ross walked. Arrieta pushes a bunt. It'll be a tough play. Jeanette, and he got him. Just got him at first. That's the 4th sack bunt by a Cubs pitcher the last 2 days.
Cubs pitchers are on a roll.
Wow.
John Lester, 14 strikeouts yesterday and 3 sacrifice bunts. He had himself a nice day, and Arrieta almost got a base hit here. Just trying to move David Ross along. Almost got a little more for his money.
Should add Patrick, and I think we mentioned this the other night as well. Even if the Cubs don't make a move by tomorrow, August is still a very busy time.
Yeah, I mean, we were talking about Starlin, this idea of you're not being traded, and certainly, that's Joe wouldn't have said that if he didn't have some sort of inside information about that, and that doesn't mean he has no trade clause now. But I mean, certainly you look at some of the players out there, some of the type of deals that the Cubs are looking at. I still think they'll probably get a pitcher by Friday. I think they're kind of waiting for some of the prices to fall, and maybe with some of these bigger name pitchers off the board, things will open up. But certainly August is a time where they could do something as well.
One price did fall, I guess, because David Price going to the Blue Jays. Gary Jones might want to go stand in the clubhouse because he's already been hit once by an Addison Russell screamer, and he just about got hit again.
Yeah, so he has 2 choices. He can move way down the line or move a lot closer to home plate to change the angle, and he's opted for plan B. And he's hearing it from the boys in the dugout.
Brewers got 2 in the 3rd off Arrieta. Cubs only have 1 hit off Nelson. 2-2.
And maybe I misunderstood it, but I interpreted the Joe's comments to Starlin when he came out of the game in the double switch and then wasn't in the lineup the next day. It's basically, I don't have any information for you. You're not being traded. Like, don't react to this as if we're trading you. We're not going to trade you. I don't think they made any kind of commitment or promise or anything like that. Is it crazy too? You can't.
Yeah, I just don't think Joe would have said it the way he did publicly if he didn't have a better inkling of what might happen in the next couple of days.
Yeah, maybe at least the short term, long term, who knows what will transpire. Patrick, thanks for the time as always. Our Cubs insider, 2-0 Brewers. Milwaukee to lead with an RBI double in the third. We're down the bottom of the fifth. Bounce to Castro at short.
Folks, on August 13th, you can join John Lester for the first ever Never Quit night at the Metro. Be there for the 3 Up, 3 Down event. This is a fun take on a Hollywood Squares. Bid on great auction items and enjoy dinner and cocktails as well. Net proceeds from the event help fund pediatric cancer research. Tickets are on sale now. For more information, visit CubsCharities.com.
Sinker misses low on Braun. Walked, caught stealing in the first. Infield hit. RBI in the third. It's interesting. Braun, he had the suspension 2013. Prior to that suspension, 944 career games. Slash line 312, 374, 564. Since returning 230 games, 266, 328, 464. So all the great stats down. Now he's had right thumb issues really throughout this entire stretch as well. But that's going to kind of hang over him until those numbers improve, or if they do.
Well, I ball hit just now.
Yes.
Back in the day, he might have flown out of here.
Lind is grounded out and lined out. Called strike. Changeup. 0-2.
And a good solid run producer for a number of years with Toronto. Maxed out with 35 home runs in 2009. Last year he only played 96 games for the Jays due to injury. Just about there. This is game number 95 for him this year. The numbers are back. He's gone deep 16 times. An OPS of 856.
Swing and a miss, strike 3 to end the inning. So first 1-2-3 tonight for Arrieta. To the 6th, 2-0 Milwaukee. Data Strong fan photo of the game. Tweet your strongest fan photo to Northside Data Strong Fan, and you just might see yourself in an upcoming broadcast. Brought to you by T-Mobile.
Super fan Natalie, man, she's on the Mount Rushmore of Cub fans.
Was that Natalie?
Yeah.
I was reading the copy. Congrats, Natalie. Third time through against Nelson.
Bumped into her leaving the ballpark the other night. She told me she was on Windy City Live the other day.
Wow. 0-2. Fowler has struck out and walked. Jason Hamill and Taylor Youngman tomorrow. Kyle Hendricks, Matt Garza on Saturday. Kyle Loesch for the Brewers on Sunday. Cubs still have not announced their starter.
Taylor Youngman, former first-round pick, really throwing the ball well. Brewers are very excited about his prospects.
Called strike 3.
There is the matchup. Game 2 of a 4-game set. They've got their hands full with Jimmy Nelson here tonight. He was a second-round pick in 2010. considered one of the top Brewer prospects. Had been for a number of years. Just one hit allowed so far tonight. The Rizzo double to lead off the second.
Ground ball this time. Jeanette's got to charge it. And he beats a hustling Schwarber. And 2 down. Now Coughlin.
And that Reds beatdown of the Pirates you referred to, Brandon Phillips has hit 2 home runs and has driven in a career high 7. Reds banged out 17 hits, scored 14 runs. A.J. Burnett allowed 7, earned, and 4 1/3.
Sausage race coming soon.
Nationals beat the Marlins 1-0 today. Max Scherzer picked up his 11th win with 7 shutout innings. Drew Storm set up Jonathan Papelbon.
Was he happy about it?
Well, I don't think so. Some comment where Papelbon told members of the media that I was talking to Storm after the game in the shower, and he said, "Man, you got a really good slider. You're going to have to show me how to throw that tomorrow." Just trying to play nice.
Didn't he also say he wants to break the all-time saves record? Would he have to pitch until he's about 48
yeah.
to do that? I mean, it's a nice goal to set, but strike 3, inning over, 6 punch-outs for Janine Nelson.
But he's working out outside in the heat, but still.
Ryan Rua to center and got by Ellsbury. It's going to the wall. Rua turning it on. Can he get 4?
He's going to try.
He is coming around third, being waved home. Here comes the throw. The slide. He's an inside the park home run for Ryan Rua.
How about that? Ryan Rua with an inside the Parker. 5-5 tie, Yanks and Rangers in the sausage race. The hot dog's going to run away with it tonight.
Well, keep your eye on Italian. He's got a big kick. The inside to Parker to the inside to Porker.
Ooh. Photo finish. Who won?
Italian.
Italian won, huh? Good comeback. Curveball strike, slider, swing and a miss. 0-2 on Davis.
Cubs are 19-7 all time when Italian wins the sausage race here in Milwaukee.
Sinker just off the lower outside corner.
Jacobs done a nice job. Struggled with his command early, was really fighting himself out there, but seems to have settled in. The fastball command has improved. He's used his changeup a little bit more than he normally does.
And he got him for 6.
On Friday, August 7th, the Cubs and Giants play. First pitch at 3:05. First 10,000 adults 21 and over will receive a floppy hat presented by Rum Chata. Rum Chata. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Rum Chata Chata.
Hey, bada.
1 strike on Jeanette. So, just to follow up on our conversation with Patrick, trade deadline tomorrow, I think it's important to note when bounced toward right, cut off by Rizzo, and Arrieta quickly over. We're not in the war room, or we don't have daily conversations with Theo and Jed. Who are you talking to? That's not our job. But I think it's pretty obvious, JD, based on where the Cubs are right now, not only the standings, but the overall process. There's not a desperation. Would they like to add? Of course they would. Are they going to stretch or overreach to add? No. Theo said it the other day. If they spend a lot to get somebody, it's going to be somebody they're going to get for just beyond this year. If they rent somebody, they hope to not give up much. And if they don't do something at all, it's because they couldn't get the right price.
Right. I think the word he used was rational.
They're going to be rational. 2-0 Brewers. We go to the 7th in Milwaukee.
Saturday, August the 8th, Cubs-Giants, 3:05. First 10,000 will receive a Ron Santo retired number flag presented by StubHub. To purchase tickets, visit Cubs.com.
Getting late, and Jimmy Nelson is in a very good stretch here as of late, has a 2-0 lead. Called strike on Rizzo. He didn't think it was a strike, or was mad at himself for not swinging. Guessing the former. Swings at that one, and he lines it over a leaping Jeanette into right. So the Cubs have 2 hits tonight. Both belong to their first baseman, and both have led off an inning.
And just 4 base runners, a couple of hits, a couple of walks. Best chance came in the second. Rizzo doubled, went to third on a wild pitch, but was stranded there.
Swing and a miss. Back to May. Flashback time.
That would work.
Not this time, though. Strike 3 call. Well, how many looking has that been? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 up to 7.
The last 4. First 3 were swinging, last 4 all looking, and he's been throwing darts. Inside corner, bottom of the knees. Have to respect that breaking ball away.
In there on Castro. Cubs went 2 and 4 on the homestand. They did win 2 of 3 against the Rockies after getting swept by Philadelphia. Runner goes 0-1, bounce to short. They stay out at 2, I think. Safe at second, out at first. So Rizzo on the move to stay out of that very situation. And it'll be a runner at second now with 2 outs. So that'll go 6-4-3 just to get Castro.
Yeah, and smart play by Jeanette here to get out of harm's way. Now Rizzo's not thinking about breaking up a double play. He's thinking about beating that play to second base. His intention is to get the bag, not Scooter Jeanette. So he gets into scoring position. Brewers don't get their double play, but they do get the out at first base. Jeanette sidesteps Rizzo, slings it on over to first to get Castro.
Rafael Soriano on the left, Pedro Strop on the right.
Chris Bryant on deck.
For Arrieta. So let's see, Jake at 97 pitches. If Ross does not continue the inning, I'm guessing Jake will come back out for one more.
Yeah, I think so too. I think the bullpen's been a little shaky of late. Arrieta is one of the best pitchers in the league, so you put your trust in him, especially the way he's turned his outing around here tonight.
Three and one, the count.
David showing Nelson exactly where he wants this next pitch.
Right-hander Jeremy Jeffress.
Pretty good incentive here for Nelson to challenge David Ross with Bryant standing on deck.
Walked in, that will get Chris Bryant to the plate. Second time Ross has walked. Rick Kranitz, a member of the Cubs organization, a respected pitching coach, will head out to the mound.
Nelson had been sailing along here in complete control of this ball game, but all of a sudden he finds himself in a little bit of a precarious situation. Rizzo single, Ross 2-out walk, and here comes Chris Bryant. And it's in the scouting report on Bryant. Pitching coach, you always want to emphasize the positives. Here's how you're going to get him out. You don't want to go out there with the message, whatever you do, don't hang him a breaking ball or something to that effect. Plant that negative seed in the pitcher's head.
So off the bench in a big spot. First and second, 2 outs, Cubs down 2-0. Very little happening here offensively tonight. 1-0.
We would expect Bryant to see a lot of sliders from Nelson, given Nelson's repertoire and Bryant's reputation. There's 2 in a row. The problem for Nelson, they're off the plate. Bryant kind of wise to what he's trying to do. Not overly anxious, and now he's worked his way into a hitter's count.
Well, the last time he came off the bench when he wasn't in the lineup, he hit for Dallas Beeler in the 3rd inning in Cincinnati. Came up with a 2-run single to tie it. Two and one.
Great pitch there. A lot of times the pitcher, if they're going to throw a breaking ball in a hitter's count like this, will get a little lazy. Just going to throw a get over breaking ball, and that's the one you can really get hurt on.
Three and one. Nelson had 100 pitches tonight, nearing the end of the line. Here it is. It's a strike. 3-2.
David Rackley, the home plate umpire, hearing from Joe Madden, who thought this pitch was low. Looked low. Pitch tracks liked it.
Rizzo at second. Ross at first. There they go. 3-2. Fouled out of play.
Everything's been down and most everything away. Chris will chase that elevated fastball, and we saw Nelson up there a little bit early in the game. He hasn't thrown many pitches up there lately.
Another foul. This one rolled past first. Well, can't say Nelson's made any mistakes in this sequence, but the old adage goes, right? The longer an at bat goes, better chance pitcher, especially a fatigued one, might make a critical mistake.
Yeah, if you've decided to be cautious here, you got to commit to it. And that's what happens sometimes. In this situation, Nelson probably feels like if I walk him, I'm out of the game. Sometimes that thinking will lead to a little bit of a lazy pitch in the zone. If the play, I'm thinking LaCroix's probably wanting to go slider off the plate, down and away, or hard in on the hands. LaCroix probably doesn't want to strike here, doesn't want to pitch in the zone.
Russell waits on deck. And the third 3-2 pitch is on its way home, and he struck him out. That's a big one for Nelson. And we'll stretch here in Milwaukee. It's still 2-0 Brewers. Let's go. Don't miss your chance to catch the best matchups in baseball. Reserve your place in line for history in the making by joining the season ticket holder waiting list. It's easy and free to register. For details, it's Cubs.com/waitlist. 2-out opportunity, but Jimmy Nelson struck out Chris Bryant, the pinch hitter, on a 3-2 offering, and now it's veteran right-hander Rafael Soriano, who has really struggled since joining the ball club. So you just hope that that rust will wear off here and he'll get locked in. Kyle Schwarber now catching. Coghlan to left, Bryant to third. So Ross is out. This is the kind of move you make as a manager when you're trailing. And as Perez grounds out to Russell.
Good start here for Soriano. It's been a rough go for him so far. His brief time in the Cub uniform. Struggled with location. And, good snap. Crispness on his pitches.
Speaking of catchers, had a very quick chat with Miguel Montero, who took some swings today. Saw him in the clubhouse. He's coming back from the thumb issue.
Yeah, he's anxious. The doctors have told him that it will not be 100% during this season. It'll take longer to heal, but he feels like he's good to go, or awfully close to being good to go anyway.
Swing by Shane Peterson. Jimmy Nelson leaving with a 2-0 lead. He gave up 2 hits in his 7 innings of work. So if the Cubs are going to get it done late, it'll be against their bullpen. Swung on and missed, strike 3.
Lunging at the breaking ball from Soriano. 2 quick outs.
Hey, there's a new guy, Ben Rowan, along with James Russell. Watch this. That's funky.
Yeah, Joe, that's exactly what Joe said. He's funky, and I like funk.
Parra 1 out of 3 with a stolen base and a run. He's run his career best hitting streak to 14 games. So a lower leverage situation here for Soriano with his team trailing by a couple, and you're just trying to get him some confidence here, right?
Yeah, just trying to keep running him out there so he can develop some feel.
Off the outside, 1-2. foul the other way. Well, Jake Arrieta, you mentioned Cubs got no hit in his last start. No runs, 2 hits while he was in the game tonight. Some bad luck.
Yeah, sure is. And John Lester, that well, all the Cub pitchers probably make a case for a little better run support. Early on, it was Kyle Hendricks. John Lester just came off a long run where he pitched very well, but didn't have much in terms of wins due to lack of run support. Arrieta snake bit here the last couple times out. Parr continues his good work. 2 out of 4 here tonight for the National League leader in batting average in the month of July. Stole a bag in the 3rd. Might be looking to do the same here in the 7th.
Wild one in Baltimore tonight. Tigers lead the Orioles 9-8, top of the 9th. Reds all over the Pirates 15-5 after 7. JD mentioned Brandon Phillips. That huge night. Rockies scoring more runs, 8-6 over the Cardinals late. They're in the 8th. White Sox winning streak on the line. 7 and counting, but they're down 8-2 in Boston in the bottom of the 8th. Chris Sale on the mound tonight too. But that's baseball. It was Chris Sale and Stephen Wright. I'm sure everybody's thinking, well, that's 8 in a row. Not so fast. Yankees 6, Rangers 5, bottom 7 in Arlington. There goes Parra. Throw skips under the glove of Russell. That will allow Parra to reach 3rd. So a steal and an error. It'll be charged to Schwarber.
Russell not able to knock that ball down, so an extra 90 feet for Parra.
Twins have an 8-5 lead over the Mariners in the 6th. In Minneapolis. Angels and Astros scoreless in the 8th. That's a big game. Houston with a 1-game advantage over the Angels in the American League West. Indians 3, A's 1. They're just underway, bottom 1st in Oakland. Nationals shut out the Marlins 1-0 in Miami today. Phillies beat the Braves 4-1. Blue Jays 5-2 over Kansas City. That's a final. High drive to left. Chris Coghlan makes the catch, and the inning is over. To the 8th, 2-0 Milwaukee. After Jimmy Nelson in a terrific stretch, trying to get his season record to 500 and beat the Cubs for the first time.
Yeah, boy, just a great sequence here with Brian. Followed along there. He's not willing to give in the middle of the strike zone. That one fastball there caught a decent part of the play, but other than that, everything was down around the knees, off that outside corner, and then finally the two-seam fastball running down and in to finish off Chris. Outstanding outing for young Jimmy Nelson here tonight. Now he hands it over to right-hander Jeremy Jeffress, who is on for the 47th time. 3-0 with a 298. He has struck out pretty much a man per inning. Hitters probably don't mind to see someone other than Nelson the way he was going.
Yep.
Jeffress throws hard. Mid to upper 90s fastball and a curveball. Once in a great while, a changeup.
Russell, Fowler, Schwarber. Strike 95. So I mentioned the Blue Jays a winner over Kansas City today. Troy Tulowitzki's played in 2 games with the Blue Jays as their leadoff hitter, something he had never done previously with the Rockies.
Yeah, went deep last night in his first game with the Jays.
Inside, 3-1. Bounce toward the middle, base hit. Leadoff single, Addison Russell. So the Cubs with 3 hits, all to start an inning.
It looked like Segura might be able to make a play on that ball, but it had a lot of top spin, and that last bounce really shot through the infield.
Well, this might be your chance getting here back to the top of the order. Strike call. Looking ahead, if you've got to face K-Rod in the 9th, he's 23 out of 23 in save chances this year with a .150 ERA. Not impossible, but he's been really good.
Perhaps due to cough one up. Well, lefties coming next. Schwarber, Coughlin, and Rizzo after the switch hitter Fowler. There's Will Smith. So he's ready to go.
See the Indy ball story with Eric Burns and the computer calling balls and strikes.
I saw they were going to roll that out.
Yeah.
How's it working?
I read the story today. It sounded like it worked pretty well. It's worth trying. That level, base hit right field. Russell stopping at second. Throw goes right to the bag, and he dives back. 2 on, nobody out for Schwarber.
A smart decision by Russell. Down 2, no need to push it there. Trying to put an inning together. You don't want to make any mistakes on the bases. Greg Counsell's going to go get his lefty Smith. Back-to-back singles off Jeffress here, and the Astros, or the Cubs, excuse me, have something cooking.
So it's a Weber Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Why grill with anything else? We will be back.
Transportation. If you ride the bike, there's a courtesy bike check. Clark and Addison. If you drive your car, the Cubs provide free parking and shuttle service on night and weekend games from 3900 North Rockwell. For details, visit Cubs.com.
Weber Sauces and Seasonings call to the pen. Left-hander Will Smith.
Fresh Prince works for the 49th time. 4 wins out of the pen with a 2.39 ERA. Very good strikeout rate, but look at those splits, reverse splits. Far better against right-handed hitters than lefties.
He served a 6-game suspension earlier this year for a foreign substance on his right forearm. That was an incident in Atlanta in May. Originally it was an 8-game suspension, but ultimately had it reduced as that ball was fouled in and out of Lucroy's mitt. He had sunscreen and rosin on his forearm. Said he forgot to wipe it off in the bullpen before coming into the game on a chilly and windy night. And that kind of spurred a conversation around baseball about whether or not that stuff should be allowed, since apparently a lot of guys do it. 0-2.
Well, a lot of people drive too fast. You break the law, pay the price.
Well said. The kick and the 0-2, and he got it. Schwarber strikes out.
Smith didn't look like a guy who struggles with lefties in that sequence. There's a lot of sliders, and that's what he used there to get Schwarber.
Mr. Norfield will hit for Coughlin. And before that happens, Rick Kranitz will head out to discuss strategy.
We talk a lot about pitchers who like to work up in the strike zone, climbing the ladder with their fastball. You saw Smith there just working progressively further off the outside part of the plate. First one on the plate, then on the edge, and then just off the edge to get Kyle. Kranix and LaCroix with the conversation, and Smith just listening along as if to say, well, whatever you guys decide, I'm good with.
Russell, bottom of your screen at second. Fowler's at first. And the pitch to Chris DeNorfia misses high. There's that foreign substance. Kind of looked obvious. Sunscreen and rosin.
You're going to do the goo. You're going to do the time.
1-1. Michael Blazek. Foul. Two runs in this ball game. Back-to-back RBI hits. Lucroy and Braun in the third off Jake Arrieta. That's been it. In the air to right, easy play, Braun. Two gone. Rizzo.
Here we go. K-Rod waiting for the ninth. Rizzo up with a couple of men on. Homered yesterday, double single so far here tonight. Recently had that batting average dip below 280 for the first time since the middle of April. Trending in the right direction here the last couple of days.
Like a premeditated swing there as he got a breaking ball instead of a fastball. 0-1 on Anthony. Back-to-back hits to start this eighth inning. But 2 outs since. The theory was he swung at the first one. Maybe he'll do it again. I don't think so.
Awfully nimble back there behind the plate. No doubles for the Brewers. Very deep in the outfield. Lind at first, tight to the line.
Swing. Wow.
Guess it doesn't matter much how deep you play in the outfield when the ball ends up in the seats. Wow is right. And the night where the Cubs lineup had been pretty much dormant life in the 8th, and then the big fella delivers. How sweet is that? That's number 18 for Rizzo. That got out of here in a hurry.
Ford home run replay. Don't hurt yourself. So that's it for Will Smith. Weber sauces and seasonings called to the pen. Cubs lead 3-2 in the 8th. Seasonings call to the pen. Michael Blazek. Anthony Rizzo with a huge night. Double, single, go ahead, 3-run homer.
What a show he has put on here tonight as Blazek comes in for the 41st time. Having a nice year, 181 ERA, low batting average against. 2 strikeouts for every walk. Smith left to contemplate it all.
Two outs, bases cleared. And ball 1.
Last couple of weeks, the Cubs have had a lot of games decided by late home runs on both sides. Had some get away. They've had some big dramatic swings of the bat. Madden talking about it the other day said, hey, it happens every night around baseball. Sometimes you steal some, sometimes you have them stolen from you. He said, we just got to get better at stealing them and not giving them away.
Right field corner. Out of play.
Now the burden falls to the bullpen to protect this lead here in the 8th.
Bottom of the 8th will belong to Pedro Strop tonight.
No decision for Arrieta. Possible win for Soriano.
Called strike 3 to end the inning. Anthony Rizzo the last 2 days has come up big. 2-run homer yesterday and a 3-2 win over the Rockies. Tonight, go ahead 3-run bullet in the 8th. Nice grab, young man. 3-2. Pedro Strop against Ryan Braun. 8th inning, 3-2 Cubs and a strike on 96. DeNorfia stays in, plays left.
Exactly a soft landing for Pedro. 1-run lead to protect Ryan Braun in the box, but he's got the jump on him. 96 outside corner and then a good slider.
Enormous swing of the bat has turned this game around. Anthony Rizzo with a 3-run homer. Swing and a miss. Braun strikes out.
A little high cheddar gets the job done.
Easy play to DeNorfia. Lind a quick out. So it will be Rodriguez in the ninth, even with his team trailing.
They didn't win much on their recent road trip, so he probably didn't get used a whole lot.
Mott and Russell. See Lester Strode on the phone to the dugout. Ground ball toward the hole. From a knee. Out at first. Castro got him.
Wow, how about that play? First the heroics from Rizzo, now Castro with a sparkling play.
Talk to Northwestern head football coach Pat Fitzgerald. Here are his thoughts on the upcoming season, Big Ten Conference, and the Wildcats. Don't miss Cap and Haw, presented by Horwitz and Associates, weekday mornings at 9 here on CSN. Breaking ball strike on Starlin Castro. Just made a terrific defensive play to end the bottom of the 8th. Blazek is still in there. Looks like it'll be Hector Rondon. He got the save yesterday. And it'll be Rondon in the bottom of the 9th. Tonight, broken bat, base hit to right.
Trade that lumber for a knock. It's funny, we saw Rodriguez warming up out there, and both came to the conclusion that he was going to pitch. Even with his club down a run, he was so conditioned to guys not going back out for another inning. Just getting ready in case the Brewers scored.
Castro on the move, and Herrera, hit and run, fouled it. Third pinch hitter used tonight. Bryant, Denorfia, Herrera off the bench.
I'd be surprised to see Herrera try a drag bunt in this situation.
In and out of the glove of Lucroy. That could be big.
It just squirts out of his hand, not even close. It should be a wild pitch. Barely made it into our screen.
Good bunt. And a hit for Herrera. Really setting up this inning now.
A great chance here to provide a little extra cushion for Rondon in the bottom of the 9th. Herrera willing to give himself up there just to get Castro over to third base. But he gets a little bonus. Perfect bunt. Perez can't handle.
Brewers will move their infielders in. Against Bryant. And he drives this one out into right center. Braun will make the catch. Castro tagging. He'll score standing. Sacrifice fly for Bryant. 4-2 Cubs.
Way to play the game right there. Get him over, get him in.
Jeanette, Segura, and Perez due up in the bottom of the ninth for Milwaukee. One and one. Nice crowd tonight, as we referenced earlier. 36,306, and a lot of Cub fans. Didn't mean to. And that was a strange play.
Yeah,
Jeanette let it drop because he wanted to see if he could turn two.
Yeah.
They get the force play at second.
Addy initially didn't break out of the box, but had time to shift gears and make it down to first base without an issue.
Meantime, the Cardinals have tied the Rockies with 2 runs in the bottom of the ninth. It's 8-8. One on Fowler. The final at Fenway, 8-2. Red Sox ended the White Sox 7-game winning streak. Also denied the White Sox a chance to get back to 500. 49-51 now.
So does that mean they're sellers now? Take all these teams in that kind of gray zone every day. Like, well, they're buyers, another sellers, they're going to stand pat.
Cardinals have the bases loaded with 1 out in the bottom of the ninth and an 8-8 deadlock. Here, the Cubs have put up 4 in these final 2 innings. They lead it 4-2. 1-1 on the way. Now 1-2 to Fowler.
It's the thing, right? If you're a general manager, and this is where you're, hearing in the winter when you put your roster together, is where you really earn your keep. If you're a team like the White Sox, it's in the hunt, but they haven't been a very good team all year long. You're kind of still got some teams you got to climb over. I mean, you might not sell, but you got to listen, right? If somebody blows you out of the water for Samardzija,
I would think he would have to listen. Yep.
I mean, you might not actively shop him, but somebody gets desperate all of a sudden, decides he's the guy they got to have. Yankees had an injury to Pineda, it hurt his arm. Maybe all of a sudden they get in desperation mode and pluck away a couple top prospects from another organization.
It's over in St. Louis. Bases loaded, walk, Greg Garcia. John Axford walked in the winning run.
Tough go for him here lately.
It has.
Garcia's the kid that hit the home run off Stroke, right?
Yep. Here's a final pitch in St. Louis. Ooh. Didn't even give himself a chance. Yeah, I think that was Garcia's first career homer, wasn't it? Off Stroke.
Yeah, it sounds
St.
right.
Louis.
Mm-hmm.
Sounded like another crack bat. A blooper will drop. Russell to third. 3 more times on base for Dexter Fowler tonight.
Cubs not exactly tearing the cover off the ball in this inning, but they'll take it. A couple broken bat hits, a bunt. Good tight turn at second for Russell. A chance for some real separation here with Schwarber batting. Kyle 0 for 4 tonight. 2 pair, groundouts to second and strikeouts.
Right down the middle to Schwarber. Off the outside this time. Nelson, Jeffress, Smith, Blazek. For Milwaukee, Arrieta, Soriano, and Strope for the Cubs. Pitchers of record right now, Soriano and Smith. Base hit. Here comes Russell. 5-2.
Nothing cheap about that one. Solid line drive RBI single for Schwarber. Crazy game. Cubs dormant all night long, and then all kinds of noise here in the 8th and 9th. They had 2 hits through 7. They now have 9.
Norfia in the air. That ball called in by Davis. 2 big insurance runs. So we go to the bottom of the 9th. Cubs looking for their 2nd straight win, leading 5-2. Broncos will have the first pitch at 6 o'clock Central right here on Comcast Sportsnet. Throwing Hector.
Saving the ball game yesterday, his 13th. Scoreless inning, a couple of strikeouts and a walk. He takes a 1.80 ERA to the mound with him here. This is his 47th appearance. 3-run lead. Down towards the bottom of the batting order. Should be easy.
Rondon can save it. Rafael Soriano would be 2-0 as a Chicago Cub.
1 earned run in his last 26 innings of work.
Jeanette is 1 out of 3. Everyone is nice. Starting a road trip successfully. A good thing. Slicing drive to Northey has got it. Come from behind win here on the road. The offense doing very little in the first 7 innings. This one would feel extra good. Segura. Brewers are a last place club, and including tonight, the Cubs will see them 13 more times this season. So I don't think it's out of line to say that how the Cubs do against the Brewers is pretty significant.
Yeah, Brewers just got a little easier to beat too with the trade of Carlos Gomez today, and maybe some other pieces that are shipped off before the trade deadline expires tomorrow.
Happy birthday wishes. Cub fan Brady Callison watching tonight. And hoping the Cubs can hold on. Rizzo with a little tricky hop. Got him. A backhand flip to Rondon just in time to get Segura.
Yeah, ball had some funky spin. He really had to fight it. Ooh. The counsel might want to take a second look at that one. And correct counsel, why wouldn't you at this stage? It looked like Rondon beat him. Can't be many in the league to get down that line faster than Segura.
Hernan Perez, strike 1. This should do it. Rondon's got to cover again. Cubs win. Cubs win. 1-2-3 go the Brewers in the ninth. Anthony Rizzo with a game-winning home run in the 8th. They scored 5 times tonight, JD, all in the final 2 innings.
Yeah, it's interesting.